family system can actually be spiritually and psychologically nourishing. So over to you for the spiritual nourishment.
All right. Actually, joint families can be really nourishing at all levels. Earlier in olden times, 3 or more generations used to live together where they, shared and cared for each other. So normally the head of the family used to be responsible for, the health, education, business expansions and all other things, including the marriage alliances, but based on the interests and needs of the family members. So the head of the family used to take care of all these things, but there is another head who is God, and they actually, the head of the family included the God element into the family picture. So even small little activities like when the food is cooked in the kitchen, it was offered to the Supreme Lord in gratitude, and of course distributed to the cows and animals and birds, and then it was partaken by the family. So there was a sense of togetherness, there was a sense of sharing, and there was an attitude of gratitude towards the Lord. So these things were emulated within the fabric of the family automatically by small little activities. And then when you all must have heard about this famous phrase, the family that prays together stays together, dances together, advances together, and the family that sings the glories of the Lord actually clings to each other. So for unity, we must not miss out on God. This is the first thing. And the second thing is, you all must have heard about the famous phrase from the Maha Upanishad, which says, Vasudeva Kutumbhakam. So that means the world is one large family. So we all know that, we are geographically apart. We belong to different races, colors, and skin, religion, caste, creed, etc. But we are all together. So that is the meaning of Vasudeva Kutumbhakam. And for this, I would like to narrate a small little story where once His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj had gone to a forest which had, beautiful redwood trees. And these trees grow up to 320 feet tall, and each tree bark, trunk, is about 24 feet wide. And they are the largest and the tallest surviving trees in the world. They are more than 2000 years old. So Maharaj asked that forest ranger, do these trees develop very deep roots? So that person said, no, Maharaj, actually, the beauty of these trees is, in spite of being in porous soil, the roots of each tree are intertwined to the roots of their neighboring trees. So directly or indirectly, all trees are connected to each other, and that's how they derive their strength. So we understand from this that in unity, we have the strength. That means united we stand, divided we fall. So basically, when we reach out of compassion and love to the others, we are strong. So in giving, actually, we are receiving. So this is what we receive from Vasudeva Kutumbhakam. But from the Bhagavad Puran, there is a higher principle which we all need to understand, which is called Vasudeva Kutumbhakam. Vasudeva, the Supreme Lord, the eternal reality, He is the absolute truth under whom all the 84 lakh species in all the universes are actually existing, and very happily, they're all interconnected and together. So that is the kind of unity that we need to have. And it is just like, a pearl necklace wherein a thread which is unseen is running through and holding all the beads together, which may which may be of a different color, size, shape, etc. So, but when we say that I do not want God in the center, what we do is we break the necklace. In the sense, all the beads are dispersed. So that is actually what's happening right now. So whether it's a nuclear family or a community or a society or nations or the whole world, we actually can be united if we have the God principle in the center. That's what I wanted to convey. Over to you, Gayatri.
All right. I have one more question for you. When we are actually living the current family system, which is more of nuclear family system, the ideologies here is we've become more individualized. We think about ourselves. There is more of I, me, myself kind of a concept. Even if we are living in a smaller unit, just the parents and the children, there are a lot of difficulties that people do come up with. There are a lot of communication gaps that we notice. There are a lot of generation differences that we notice. How do we bridge them, Pranava?
Yeah, basically, what happens is when we are filled, when we are disconnected from the Lord, we are filled with all the anarthas in the heart, the greed, lust, envy, pride, illusion, anger, all these things get built within us. So, what happens is we become, we can't tolerate the others. In the sense, we become so selfish and all unto us ourselves that it is just the I, me, myself philosophy that gets built in. So to uncover it, we actually need to do a certain spiritual activities that can actually reveal the God element within and our connection with the Lord. So that's when actually we can become united and stay together, whether it's a nuclear or a higher form of family.
Excellent. I think the same slide, the psychological perspective, what I would like to say is we are actually vertically connected to God. That's what you're saying. We are vertically connected to God, and we are horizontally expanding the service motto either to human beings or to God in general. That's what you said. Basically, what is lacking is the service motto. Because as a clinician, when I see a lot of cases, most parents and children have these value clashes. Children say that, why are we not given freedom? Why is the freedom restricted? Why do you have to tell us at what time we are supposed to come home and what time we are supposed to step out? Why are there so many restrictions for us as a girl child, and why aren't there so many restrictions for someone else who's a boy child? So there is constantly this struggle. It's almost like a tug of war between parents and children that I get to see as a clinician. And what I would definitely want to say is, I think kindness and compassion starts from self, and children learn it best from parents. And who else can role model it better to them through their actions other than parents? What do you have to say? And for the audience who are present here, I can see a lot of questions being raised in the chat box, which I will answer towards the end of the session. We are here to understand the family system per se. We are not promoting any family system, whether it is joint or nuclear, because it is an individual choice. We are not here to promote any family system. We are trying to say that whether we are staying in nuclear system or whether we are staying in joint family system, we are disconnected as individuals. We are becoming extremely lonely as individuals. The mental health concerns are also heightening. So we are only trying to understand the psychosocial cultural perspective of our family systems. All right. Now, Pranava, the question to you would be, how do we define the lust and the love? Because here what I meant by love and lust is the child says that, I want to buy a new phone or an iPhone. Everybody in my class has an iPhone. I also want it. I love it. And often we see children using the word love so quickly. So how would you want to define that? Is that love? Because parents say that I can't afford to buy you an iPhone, or I can't give you an iPhone. So for them, it is something beyond desire, something beyond the need, what is necessary. So for me, that would be lust. So how do you want to define love and lust, Pranava?
Okay, so first of all, we all have certain needs and certain wants. So in order to maintain our body and soul together, we are taking in certain amount of food, we read some books, and we wear some clothes. So these are the basic needs. So beyond the basic needs are something called the wants or the desires. And if they go overboard, then actually there's always a problem. And then to also answer your first question, where you said that, why should I be bound by anything? Why can't I just have my own ways of life? That kind of a question which you asked, I would like to answer that first. So here you should understand that, for example, to maintain this physical body, there are certain things which we need, of course. And then, one second. Yeah. In order to maintain our body and mind together, we are referring to a manual called Bhagavad Gita. In fact, when you buy something like a telephone or a mobile phone, you get a manual alongside. It tells you on how to use it. So there is some kind of restriction, but that boundary acts as a freedom actually. So we shouldn't think that regulation is restriction. So when we are regulated, we are disciplined, we have a particular goal, and we'll be able to achieve them. So similarly, when we take from the scriptures the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to tell what is love and what is lust. In the sense, if it is going beyond a certain point, we'll be able to cut it off. Okay, for example, love. How do you define love? Actually, the Supreme Lord is an embodiment of all love because he is pure love. There is no contamination in him. So when we are connected to that Supreme Lord, we become uncontaminated. So as long as we remain disconnected from him, that is called lust. And we develop certain attitudes where we want to please ourselves. That is called sense gratification. So that is lust. So when we don't know the difference between love and lust, then our desires increase so much, and naturally the desires will make us go in a wrong way, choose the wrong things in life, and get into troubles and sufferings. So in this regard, I would like to quote a shloka from the Bhagavad Gita, which says, Visha vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjyam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So if we develop a higher taste, we will be able to leave the lower ones. Like the happiness doesn't lie in gulab jamun or a mobile phone or in the objects. Actually, it lies within us. So we have to become content, and that happens like when we understand the whole philosophy. So in gulab jamun, if somebody gives you one, you'll be okay, kind of happy. When they ask you to eat more than 2 or 3, you'll say, no, 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 I can't eat more than this. Sorry. So that means what? The happiness isn't in the gulab jamun. It actually lies within you. So anything beyond a certain point is definitely lust. And to maintain our body and soul together, how much ever is required, that much we need to take.